Call a meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A roll call, please.
Mayor Lindsay is absent. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Here.
Counselor Crane is absent. Counselor Weeks
Here.
and Counselor Humber.
Here.
We have a quorum. You may proceed.
Thank you. I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda, postponing item
No,
A.
not yet. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm totally out of line.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I make a motion to approve the agenda with postponing item A.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Do we have any requests and responses from the audience?
No, sir.
We do not. Announcements and proclamations by council? No. Staff reports. First, Project Director Rocky Lara.
Mayor Pro Tem Howe, members of the council. Manager Weir. And Clerk Strickland. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a little rundown of the report of the projects that I've been working on, so. I'm gonna share my screen here. So the first project that I'm gonna talk about is the workforce housing. And you'll notice instead of workforce housing 2025, 2020, we've changed it to 25/26. And the reason for that is that we've instead of installing all 30 homes this year, we've made a decision, the council's made a decision to purchase 6 homes and have them erected this September. And the rest of them for the following year, then spring. And remaining 24. As an update on the status of the project, the geotechnical assessment is complete. Kit Carson is moving ahead with moving that line that's overhead and moving it underground. The infrastructure for the roadway and utilities is in progress. The tenant lease agreement, we're currently drafting up a tenant lease agreement. And the government's document is in a second round of edits, which will require another round of legal review. But there were some edits that the workforce housing committee had made just yesterday. We're also working on a strategy for the village and CID building permits. Any questions on this project?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll move on to fire station number 1. The village received a verbal to start encumbering funds for the fire station, which is good. To be reimbursable, there's a reimbursable grant from the special appropriations of 5.22 million. The building plans from design group are about 95% complete. And later on, it'll be open for discussion as one of the agenda items on your agenda today. Application for the FY26 fire protection grant, where I'm now currently working on that with Chief Vance. And that's a maximum of $600,000, which will be used to purchase the metal building kit, which is part of the project, the first part of the project. I'm also working on a scope of work for the metal building kit to present. We want to build an RFP for that because it is over the amount. So we're going to have to go to RFP. And so I'm starting the scope of work and that should be done pretty soon. And of course, the village and the CID permits are in progress as well.
So would you remind me the size of the building?
Good question. What is the size of the building, Chief?
13,034 feet. I'll be giving a presentation anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? The Frank Young Trail design phase, there's still an issue that remains because we still don't have approved right of way through the resort property. I just learned that maybe it might not be specifically lot 196, it might be one of the other lots. More to come later. There are still no alternate routes for the trail that have been identified and approved. Allen Fields, next steps, they're working on round one trails plus grant funding opportunities for phase one construction for the bathroom facilities and for the concession stands. That grant is due September 30th, 2025, so we still have some time, but I'm kind of waiting to work out the details on the trail. Because if we don't do the trail, we can't really do this to this grant. This grant is dependent because the bathrooms and the concession stands are to be built at the end of a trail. So if we don't have a trail, then we can't use the grant to build these. So there's still a risk that continues to exist, that phase one construction might not get funded because of round one trails grant. The K8XX airport project. Du Bois and King are now our contractors for airport sponsored transfer services. The bidders conference reflected bids that were greater than the grant amount. The grant amount was 1.2 million, and a lot of the bids came out over $1 million higher than that. So what happened is we reduced the scope on the request for bid, and so we did is we eliminated the building of the new hangar. And so now the scope for that 1.2 million is basically just to repair the existing hangar door. There are a couple more items on the request for bid, but they're not out of that particular grant. They're out of the another grant, which is the $147,000, 130. And that scope is basically the snow structure over the aircraft self-serve fueling pumps that seem to get built up with snow in the winter. And they can't really reach the pumps, so that they're gonna build a structure that's over that and a containment pad for fueling trucks in the back. So hopefully that'll all get done before winter. And also the FAA has advanced consideration, which is a good thing here, for a new snow removal equipment for the KAXX airport. And if you have any questions, we do have our airport director here. Any questions on that?
So I do have one question.
Okay.
So, the new hangar will be relooked at next year for
We'll be looking at.
design and build.
Correct, yes, sir. The hangar that was asked was a single building with 4 bays, basically, or 4 spaces. So that got left off because that was literally doubling the amount that we had available in the grant. So the hangar doors are a safety issue. They're 40 years old and they need to be replaced. So that was the consensus with the county to replace that first, and then we'll go out for another grant for a single large hangar, which was originally the intent of that grant. And we'll be doing that actually, as part of the discussion we're having with the county right now is the logistics of putting us helping sponsor with the county to bring the money through the county because there's the sponsor right now. It's kind of fun.
Thank you.
The next and last project that I'm going to talk on is the National Veterans Wellness and Healing Center project. I'm just working, it's at the very infant stages, okay, so I'm just building a charter document that I'm currently developing. The purpose of that is just to actually develop the purpose and the justification for the project, identification of stakeholders. I want to build a strong stakeholder group for that. Project objectives, scope, risk and assumptions, project deliverables, requirements, and timeline. All those things will be built into the charter document, as well as a project budget, which right now for 2025 is the $1.222 million. I'm excited for this project to start, and I can hardly wait till it begins. I'll stand for any questions on any of the projects or anything that you might have. Okay,
Thanks, Rob.
thank you.
Next, we have Planning and Zoning Director, Reg Bourgeois.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Powell and councilors and Ms. Strickland and city manager. Should be short and sweet tonight. We're continuing a path of permits coming in and exceeding previous years. I'm at about 31% over last year in terms of the numbers of the pure number of permits coming in. If we continue as we are, we'll have probably about 30 more permits than we had last year. We've slowed a little bit on the new construction. Here and there, I'll get one or two in the office. But we have really increased in the number of roofings replacements and deck replacements. So there are a lot of permits out there right now for decks and roofs. Right now, I've got 5 active permits that are incomplete and working on my desk. And I have 5 lot combos. Lots of lot combos surged for the 1st of July, but they haven't stopped. I've still got another drive to go. In terms of compliance, we worked our way through 31 of the active permits that are out there since the 1st of January and looking at how they're complying with the things that they're promised in the permit. And we're continuing to focus on signage out there and making sure that folks are permitted properly. Automation. I sent Shay this last week and she's working hard on the website to update. I have 3 new automated forms and 4 checklists that'll be going on to help the community be able to more quickly and more completely give me a permit. Some of these new construction permits are 5 documents. And if you get one, I can't move forward until I get all the complete package. So those checklists should help, and I've given them out at the door as well. The biggest thing on my plate right now and the highest priority are working the 2 permits for the fire department and for the workforce labor new housing permits. I want to get a good document on file so that we have something for the future to be able to fall back on how did we get to where we are today. And so I'm working on those 2 permits. But other than that, I'm open for questions. Pretty well caught up, and now we're in a routine stride.
Thank you. Next, Director of Public Works, Kurt Evans.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Hal, Council, Clerk Strickland, Manager Weir. Report is short and sweet tonight. Do you want to report that the 2 pieces of equipment that were purchased, one by Joint Utility, the Vermeer back trailer, and the Caterpillar motor grader were delivered a few weeks ago, actually. We had a slight subtle ceremony on the motor grader. We didn't call it a roll-in ceremony. It rolled out. It's been working ever since. So both are working really well. And yeah, the main thing I wanted to report on is, as mentioned a few weeks ago at a council meeting, informed you that we had hired the services of a company to come in and do some flushing of the sewer lines. They just completed that work last week. They did report that our sewer lines are in relatively good shape considering the age. But one example of what they were able to do on one stretch of 8-inch sewer line from a manhole behind Makuna Grill and that complex right there to Winter Park Lane, they took over 15 cubic yards of material. Wow. Which, as many of you know, is an area where we've had continuous backups and quite a few issues. I would like to get them back again this fall for some the mainline section back here as they video camera it, and where need be have the equipment to get it cleaned out. And I think moving forward, it's action to maintain these sewer lines. We need to entertain it yearly to stay on top of it. And I stand for any questions.
Since you're up here, I want to tell you how nice the new streets look over in the core area.
Yes, sir. They came out very well.
They are so smooth.
Yes, sir.
Looks like they're doing some pinstriping today. I saw trucks going up North Danger Fire Road. But I don't know. I didn't see them painting anything yet, but.
No, not doing it for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Police Chief Jerry Helgren.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. Before you, you have the June monthly recap or activity report. As compared to May to June. Calls for service, well, things got busier, just to put it very bluntly. But certainly not what we're probably gonna see here for July or what we saw last December or January. So calls for service increased to a total of 176 for the month of June. There were 70 incidents or call for service reports. There were 2 warrants that were generated. There was only 1 arrest for June. There were 4 crash reports in June. That's up from May, from 1 to 4. Traffic citations are 40, down from 63 in May. Non-traffic citations were 5, with there only being 2 back in May. And as I stated earlier, we did see an increase in traffic and visitors, which is a very positive thing for us as the village. Evaluations and budgetary timelines were met by the police. That, I would stand for any questions. Hearing none, I'll see you back at item I.
Code enforcement, Joel Legg.
Evening, Mayor Pro Tem Mel, Councilman, Mrs. Strickland, Manager Weir. To give you a quick recap on the month of June for citations written as well as violation notices. In the month of June, there were 5 citations written, as well as 1 violation notice. To fill you in on what's currently going on, what we're dealing with now. I'm currently in the process of revisiting the addresses listed on a spreadsheet for open permits to make sure that they remain in compliance. The rainy weather we have been receiving has slowed down construction progress, however, but our efforts are paying off, as we are seeing an increase in permit applications being obtained, as Reggie said before. We're also focusing on 2 prior non-compliance issues. Construction was already done without approval from the village and or the architectural committee. And we aim on getting that straightened out as soon as we can. Also, we're also working on providing address markers for a number of locations. It's crucial that first responders are able to see reflective address numbers when they respond to calls. So we're working on that as of now. Stand for any questions?
So on the address, the 911 addressing, are you just gonna, will homeowners be able to just come pick up those numbers or?
Yes, sir. If we can make that happen, which we will, there'll probably be a line all the way to 434.
Yeah,
But
I know
Yeah.
it's been a while.
it's been a while, yes, sir. So, but it is crucial, especially first responders, they gotta be able to get to people when they need to. Matter of life and death, so.
Yeah.
But homeowners will come get them and put them on their.
Yes, sir. As soon as we reach out to them with a letter in person, police department's gonna help me out on that. They've already helped me out tremendously, so. Planning and zoning as well.
Great,
I would buy it until they're expanded, we'll get some more.
okay, great.
So,
Thanks.
thank you.
Next, Finance Director Adrian Reardon.
Good evening, gentlemen. I want to start by saying thank you to Clerk Strickland. I know even right here at the last moment, we're continuously putting changes in front of her. And with a smile, she just kind of rolls with the punches and makes sure that this stuff happens. So very grateful for that. I also want to take a real quick second to say thank you to my general ledger team and my budget team, Kathy Jenkins, Heather McPeak, and Juliana Gibson. They've been putting in considerable time to put together the FY26 budget that I'm going to be putting in front of you later on this evening. I also want to give a thank you to Manager Weir, who also looked over the final product and he caught a couple of crucial items that allowed us to make some last minute changes so that the numbers that we put in front of you are accurate. So with that being said, yes, the fiscal year 26 budget is finalized and we're going to be putting that before you this evening. We feel good about this budget and we think that it's going to allow all the departments to make all the projects that they want have happen this year happen. In addition to that, I do want to take a quick moment to say that for us, this is, it's July, but for us, it's a new year. And so that's the way the finance director looks at it. And so as we look at this year, we're optimistic because we've got a team together that is starting to train. And we are implementing a series of innovations, starting with analytics, specifically for the budget. And also we're going to be doing it analytics against our general ledger as well. That's something that was brought to my attention that the village has not had that before. And so that's going to be a new thing here. I think it's going to be a fantastic step at helping us to further understand exactly where we're spending and to be able to provide council and the manager a trend analysis. And so we're eventually going to end up at a point where we're going to have a dashboard that's going to have near real-time information, and we'll be able to kind of form that to provide the details that you need in order to make more informed decisions. And so we're going to be working with you in order to kind of custom fit that to give you what it is you're going to be looking for. So we're really excited about that. Not quite there yet, but we will get there. And then in addition to that, there's also going to be some innovations that are going to be taking place behind the veil. A lot of what we do here in the finance directorate, those moves are made silently. They're not necessarily seen by community members. And so, but they're crucial moves. And so it's important that our people are trained and that we're giving them the tools so they can get better and better at those jobs. We're doing it for them. So we may not see an immediate effect, but there is a next order effect to those types of things whenever you're working more efficiently. And so we're gonna kind of take credit for everything. So every single one of these guys that comes up here and tells you about the cool stuff that they're doing, they don't get it done without money. So we're a part of that. And finally, what I'll say is we're also gonna we're working to enhance the partnerships that we have with our departments. And so what we're doing is my team meets weekly anyway to cover the financials, and we've invited the administrators and project officers to kind of sit with us and kind of stay synchronized. And also we've highlighted some areas where we see that we really need to kind of shore up and do a better job of training on processes. And I think once we do that, it's going to kind of streamline and make some of these things happen quicker. As hard as we try to project everything that's going to happen, we can't. So we end up doing a lot of just-in-time financing for things. And when that happens, that's when it's important for everyone in the process to know exactly how that process should go so that it not only flows quickly, but that it's done correctly the first time so that we're not having to go back in the accounting side later and do journal entries and stuff like that in order to correct the books. We feel that this meeting is going to not only allow us to stay synchronized on those projects, but it's going to create an opportunity for us to hear the needs of the departments, because the budget meeting is a fantastic time for us to do that, but it's a once a year thing. And so they've got voices all year long. And so inviting them to the table each week or to send a representative to that table allows us to continue to hear if the budget that we have for them is working for them, or if we need to be making some adjustments so that they can fulfill their missions. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Parks and Recs Director Shay Tiblis.
Good evening, Manager Weir, Ms. Strickland, Pro Tem Howe, and Councilman. It's gonna be short and sweet. The community center is up and running as usual, without heat, but we don't need it right now, luckily. I have a couple events coming up in August, so people are starting to reach out, wanting to rent the center again, and so on and so forth. For the heating, I'm waiting on 2 bids, for excuse me, for the new or updated heating system. We're still kind of deciding on the best way to move forward with it. Keeping the boiler system, not keeping the boiler system. I've kind of heard that they think the system is good if it's updated more, but I don't think any final decisions have been made yet. Waiting on one of the contractors met with the 2 engineers on Thursday of last week. And we're waiting on a bid from another contractor to see which route we want to go and what they best recommend, the best route to go. And how quickly we can get it started, since it's gonna come sooner than later, so we don't want problems again. The west side of the building, we're waiting on another bid, and a contractor came out and met with, the engineer on Thursday also. So waiting on getting that to see when that'll get started, but that should be started, I would assume, at the latest sometime in August. And, this weekend at the Allen Fields, we had a 2-day softball tournament, and it went pretty good. We got 10 to 11 teams, and everybody seemed happy. We get rained on all the time, so that's nothing new, so we went with it, and it was a good turnout, and everyone had a good time. I have another one scheduled for Saturday. That's just a 1-dayer. It's gonna be a little smaller, 4 to 6 teams. There's pretty much one every Saturday and maybe another 2-dayer coming up, but I'm still waiting on all the finalization of all of that through August. We're looking at maybe one in Labor Day weekend too, but not sure. And Frank Young Trail, Rocky pretty much updates you everything on that. I don't really have anything to add on that, so if you have any other questions?
So for the teams, generally, where are they coming from?
This weekend, most of them are from New Mexico, but we get a lot from Colorado, Oklahoma, Kansas, and some from Texas.
So obviously they spend a night or two
Mhm.
here in town.
Yeah, like with that one, we had, they were out at the fields, and they had, you know, campers set up, and people were out there all the time. I had, actually, when I was out there, I had people driving up wondering what was going on, because they had tents, you know, and thinking it was vendors, and I said, no, just come on out and watch softball. And the more we get, when we can have more lights or more fields, you know, when you can extend the time, because usually we have to go on a rain delay sometimes, and the more teams you can get in there, so.
Right.
Yeah, there's tournaments that can go up to 30 teams, you know, so, but that was enough teams for this weekend for just me, so.
Good.
Do we have backup heaters? I mean, temporary heaters for the community center in case?
No, not yet, and that's something I brought up too, because I've been told that maybe parts won't be available, you know. And that's what we're kind of waiting on, and I specifically said, well, we need a plan, because I don't know
Like,
this.
it's the bathrooms and the kitchen basically where water is.
Well, there's piping, I mean, up above is off right now, and the water is acting independently from any heat, so it's
Right.
just the water, so yeah, that's the main concern, but we don't want. For anything to freeze, but I mean, like you said, the main thing is where all the new piping is, because it's all new and insulated. We don't want anything to happen with that, so that's something that I've already brought up, and I'm really adamant about, no, this will be an issue here, so we need to, you know, plan sooner than later, so. That should be avoided. Now, if we're gonna, I don't know, like I said, we'll just have to see. It depend, I've been told that some parts might not get in until both, you know, until winter time, but then I've also been told maybe not. It might just depend on when they get in and how quick someone can get in there, so. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Does that conclude all the staff reports? Okay. Committee reports? None. No old business. Under new business, item B, discussion to approve resolution 2025-49, approval of final budget for fiscal year 26. Adrian.
All right. Good evening again. All right, if I could point your attention to the FY 2026 final budget submission summary that we prepared for council. What I want to do this evening is basically run through these numbers the same way that we did when we met for the interim that we approved on a Saturday. And what we did on that day was we basically just highlighted the changes from the submission prior to that one. The big difference was when we turned that one into you, what we did was we gave you the budget submission, and it showed expenses and revenues. And it put those two together, and it showed you the differences on those accounts. And in the event where we had deficits, what we also did was we provided a spreadsheet that showed the cash balances in each of those accounts. So we were able to demonstrate that there was cash to cover those deficits. In order to make it a little bit easier this time, we put those together. And so this sheet, when you look at it, you'll see that the funds have revenues, they have expenses, and the claims on cash are also in there as well. So that the bottom line number that you're looking at on this version shows you the addition's already been done for you. In some cases, you will see that there are extra line items in there. And that's for, not all the money is actually just sitting in bank or New Mexico Bank and Trust. It's some of this bank we have invested, some of this money, the money, yeah, that's correct. The money that we have invested, we've tied it to the appropriate funds and displayed that here as well, so that you could see what the summary number is with investments included. Now, the little yellow cells, those are the ones that are showing you the changes that we've had. The first one is inside of the general fund, and I've highlighted the block that says 1399.74.998. The change is that we extended the contract for Enchanted Cleaning, and so that changed that number by $485. So on page 2, we highlighted under Fund 30100. You'll see I highlighted 1,522,900, and that's where we added $242,090.99 for one of our Go bonds. On page 3, we were missing an administrative fee, and so we added that to Fund 40100. So the cell 1,859,444, that changed by $429 when we put that fee in there. And then at the bottom of the same page, you'll see under Fund 52100, we've highlighted 3,999,616. That's a change of $125,875.24, and that was in order to make Encode, which is the system that we use here, balance with LGBMS, which is the budget management system. That's where we submit to the state. And so we noticed that we had an imbalance there, and so we had to make the adjustment. And unless there are any questions on that, that's the changes.
So on the joint utility expense went down,
Which page are you looking at, sir?
page 3 and 4, the second highlighted.
You're talking about the 185944? I'm sorry, could you repeat your question?
The joint utilities fund. So the expenses actually went down.
Joint
Yeah.
utility.
The 52100.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, down at the bottom of the page, gotcha. Yes, sir, I'm with you. Yes,
I just want to make sure that was the right way.
yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at the 401 fund.
And the question you had on the last page.
On the water rights, do we have an expense of $670,000 on water rights?
Yes, I don't have the itemized list in front of me, but yes, we do. I will get you the answer for that, okay?
I had another question, I guess I'll ask was, on the recreational budget, we had a surplus of over $1 million. 1.3 million on top of page 2 and 4.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So if you look right now, they have only expensed projected expenses for 112.2. And so that, when you compare that to the revenues, and then we were sitting on almost $1 million. Yes, we do have a surplus there.
So this budget does not include lodger's tax.
It does, it is.
Bottom of page one.
Okay. So we're starting the new fiscal year with how much money?
We are. Well, for the general are you talking about the claims, just the cash that we have sitting in the general fund?
Right.
Okay, yes, so that's 5.2 million.
Okay, now I'm talking about lodger's tax itself. At the bottom of page one.
Oh, yes, sir. So if you look under claims on cash, that's what we currently have that's sitting in there right now. And so there's 1 million sitting in there, and we're projecting another 1.38 million or 1.39 million. Anticipated revenues over the year.
Okay, so then with our expenses, what do we project it looks like at the end of the year?
They're planning on using all of it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, Bill? Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2025-49? Approval of final budget for fiscal year 26.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-49. Approval of final budget for fiscal year 2026.
A second.
Second.
Roll call vote on item B. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humber.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. All right, item C. Approve resolution 2025-51, various bars. Adrian.
All right, I'm just trying to get my steps in, that's all. All right, so as you know, anytime we do a budget adjustment request that impacts the cash balance, we are required to put those before you for approval. And so that's what you have in the packet here. It's various adjustments. One of them was for the GO bond. When we just talked about that, moving the money. And then we had two where we were balancing again from INCO to the state's local government budget management system. And then, as I mentioned before, we extended a contract.
All right. No further questions? Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2025-51, various bars?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-51, various bars.
Second.
Roll call vote on item C. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humber.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Item D. Approve resolution 2025-52, airport fee schedule. Jeff Gilman.
Mayor Pro Tem and councilors and Clerk Strickland. This is just some housekeeping. Understand that our fee schedules according to the bylaws need to be approved. These fee schedules are updated. We probably do it at least twice a year, just depends. This one is very recent, within the last month, meaning we've gone out and looked at other airports in the surrounding area and the general idea of what fees cost. So put this together. The only other piece in here is fuel. Fuel is kind of a percentage or cost plus. Just like a gas station, it varies every time we get a load of fuel. And so it's hard to pin down exactly what that percentage would be because of the variance in time, if that makes sense. So that is, not completely codified, and we'll make that clear if need be to you, but it basically it's a cost plus on gas. And that's all I have. Does that have questions?
On the parking fees,
Yes.
that $25 a day seems like considerably higher than what it would be per month. Be more than, I mean, it's just seems
It is,
pretty steep.
the reason for that. And I apologize that that's not clear in here. It's based on folks that come in and just park their car and walk away. We've got cars that have been sitting there for a year and 6 months. Makes it a little prohibitive to them when they understand. If they're there and they're customers with advanced air, if they're flying in and out, then that fee is less than that, meaning it's waived. If you're an advanced air customer, you come in for 3 days, there's no fee.
Yeah.
If you're flying in for the weekend and you're buying gas for your airplane, there's no fee. It's just trying to get people to understand that, because in the past, the counties just let people park wherever they want at no fee whatsoever. So it's a little bit punitive, and that can be adjusted at your will.
And then, you know, you don't have a weekly rate, you know, because there may be issues where they may need a weekly rate versus a daily rate.
Yes, sir. Would you like us to hold on this and then come back with that, or can we amend it?
When's, this would be for 6 months, and you would look at this again in 6 months or a year?
It would probably be before Christmas, we'll look at it again.
Okay.
And right now, we're just trying to sort all, and if you've noticed, if you go to the airport, you'll see there's a lack of cars in the field, thank goodness,
Yeah,
where people have been basically using it for free lot.
I just recommend maybe in the future looking at maybe a possible weekly rate.
We'll do a weekly, and we'll codify the fact that if you are a customer of the airport, this does not apply to you, especially those with advanced air and some of our charter jets that they. Make that amendment to you. And bring it before you.
So if we get DOD planes and helicopters, do they also pay this fee?
I don't know of an airport that does that. That's a very good question, Mayor Pro Tem. Any airports that I've ever had from the US military is on site, we give them grace.
Okay.
We thank them for what they're doing, so.
So you list all the possibilities and the size of planes.
Yes,
Have we at one time or another had all of these?
yes, absolutely. In fact, this list is just an updated list that the county has had for years.
Okay.
So this is not new to everybody except the parking. And I believe in a past meeting, I explained that we do have parking permits and everything now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I see there's only one fee for helicopters, no matter the size.
It's extremely rare for us to get a helicopter in, and when I looked at this, and now we've had the guys that are doing the work for the resort, they were in 5 times yesterday buying gas. We're not gonna charge them anything. If they're gonna buy 5 fuel loads, they're gonna get waived. But yes, that's an interesting insight. But
Okay.
I don't know that, and you all that have been here for a very long time, that ever been a helicopter based here. Because of the altitude primarily.
So an Osprey, is that a helicopter or?
Put me on the spot there, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, yes, exactly.
Okay, all right.
And unfortunately, we lost the gentleman that could explain that in extreme detail a year or so ago.
All right.
It was a sad thing, but yes,
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, Mr. Manager.
based on, this conversation, whatever we do charge, whatever actions we do take must be in resolution or ordinance. And if there are changes that the council would like to see to this, for those considerations, my recommendation is that we, move to postpone.
and there's no way to do an amendment to this at a later date and add those two items?
Well, move to postpone means it'll be up at the next meeting. We need to refine the language. We can change the language to pretty much whatever the council wants. It's just that the language needs to be in there. We can't put language in to charge landing fees and then exclude somebody because they're in the military unless that is defined in the resolution.
Very good.
Thank you. All right. Can I get a motion to postpone resolution 2025-52?
Make a motion to postpone resolution 2025-52 airport fee schedule.
Second.
Thank you.
Roll call vote on item D. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Thank you.
Item D postponed.
Item E, discussion approved task order 2025-06 with Dennis Engineering for WTB application assistance for effort.
Good evening again, Mayor Pro Tem Howe, Council, Clerk Strickland, Manager Weir. What this is a task order for Dennis Engineering to assist us with support documentation, cost opinion, presentations to the 2026 Water Trust Board. And I do want to note that it does include, if necessary, to attend the presentation to the Water Trust Board for the sum of $6,500.
Thank you, Director Erica. Can I get a motion to approve task order 2025-06 with Dennis Engineering for Water Trust Board application assistance?
Make a motion to approve task order 2025-06 with Dennis Engineering for WTB application assistance.
Second.
Roll call vote on item E. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Item F. Discussion to approve results from invitation to bid for road materials 2025-002. Director Rector.
And with you, you should have the results of the invitation to bid. As you can see, Taos Gravel was winning bidder on most of them. MTC was the winning bidder with cinders and salt. They were the only bidder. I do want to note that that rate per ton is the same as it's been this will be the third year at that rate. And they provide very good service. To go through them individually and to understand what we requested a bid for is a type 2 base course. The current pricing agreement that we have with Pike Construction
in the material that we've been getting. It's a type 1 base course. There's some areas where one works better than the other. To go through the prices, and so you understand the listing of zone 1, 0 to 2 miles, zone 2, 2 to 4, zone 3, 4+ miles. That's the point at which the material is being delivered to. As you know, the majority of the material that we have purchased over the last year, we have delivered right to where it needed to be placed. So obviously with trucking costs, those rates will vary based on distance. Centered from Village Hall as being the center of the community. Right. So type 2 base course, 0 to 2 miles is $28 per ton. 2 to 4 miles is $30 a ton. 4+ miles, $34 a ton. Crusher fines, zone 1, 0 to 2 miles is $19. 2 to 4 miles, $21. 4+ miles, $25. And down at the bottom, 2-inch minus pit run. Zone 1 is $27. Zone 2 is $24. And zone 3 is $28. Stand for any questions.
Top 2 base course, you think it's just bigger aggregate or?
No, it's the same aggregate. What it has is a higher plasticity index, got a little more clay in it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So Taos Gravel is actually from Taos?
No, sir. They have a crusher operation in Eagle Nest, just
Okay.
north of Eagle Nest.
Okay,
They leased the pit from Bruce Gasman and,
right, okay,
yeah,
got it, okay.
they were not, in operation last summer. They weren't crushing anything, but they are now.
Right.
And I'm glad they are.
Can I get a motion to approve the results from the invitation to bid for road materials 2025-002?
I make a motion to approve results from invitation to bid for road materials 2025-002.
Second.
Roll call vote on item F. Mayor Pro Tem Howe.
Aye.
Counselor Weeks.
Aye.
And Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Next is item G, discussion, approve architect design document for the new fire station. Chief Vance.
Mayor Pro Tem Howe, members of council, Manager Weir, and Clerk Strickland. Hello, thank you for having me up today. We originally had planned to approve our fire station design for tonight. We are not prepared to do that. There were still a couple of minor changes to some of the elevation changes for our soils compaction as a result of our soils compaction test. So we have a meeting to follow up on that. I do have a presentation available for you that is just an update on the fire station and the progress that we've made. Would you like me to proceed with that presentation and not ask for approval for the plans, or would you like me to come back at a later time?
Proceed, please.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, for our location, as you all know, we're gonna be located just south of Village Hall. It's gonna be called Lot 9. We have decided on a new address as 3386 Mountain View Boulevard. You can see that in relevance to the current fire station up on the board. As far as plat placement, the building on the lot just south of us, so we will likely remove the row of trees on the north and south of the building property. Right now, there's a little bit of discussion to try to preserve the westerly border of this row of trees right along 434. We're trying to keep that, but because of drainage concerns, we may have to alter that. But that's how the fire station will sit on the lot. As far as this is looking from the northwest corner of the lot, basically where the new sign is, you'll be looking at the fire station. I didn't pick these red colors, the architectural design did. But if you guys have any input for colors, I'm open to that. I hate picking colors, so I'll leave it up to somebody else to do it. That ball keeps getting kicked around. The color chart is down there, what we have available to us. In the plan, we do have 3 foot of wainscoting around the bottom to give a little bit of contrast. I'm gonna break the floor plan up into three sections for discussion. One is the admin area of the building. The other is the crew quarter area of the building, and the third will be the apparatus bay. For the fire admin, a couple of the highlights of that. We're gonna have a medical examination room. You'll see to the left of the diagram there. We have a considerable amount of walk-up patients or drive-up patients that come at all times. We will have the ability, like we have a snow-in event or road closures or whatever, when we can't get somebody down to a clinic or a hospital, we'll be able to bring them in and house them 24 hours if necessary. So it'd be a good emergency backup for that. We don't currently have anything like that other than knocking on the door of the clinic and asking them to open up after hours. Another highlight to that, if we'll just stay there for one moment, the large community room will serve multi-purposes. We plan on doing a lot of community outreach events for moving to Firewise, talking about defensible space ordinance, a lot of community outreach just to be able to host those things in public. We can host CPR classes and so forth. It also can serve as an emergency operations center in the event of a large event like Hermit's Peak, Calf Canyon. If you guys remember, they used Fire Station 2 and cleared out the bay. Now we'll have a proper space with data input and power and everything else. Moving to the crew quarters, a couple of those features, a large patio that will kind of be overlooking Liberty Square, a large kitchen area, enough crew quarters for 4 personnel plus an officer's quarters, so we can have a total of 5 there. Long outlook. If we had to, we could vacate the admin area and we could use those for additional crew quarters if possible. So it allows us that flexibility in the space. There'll also be an exercise gym in that area for crews to be able to work out. And if we can scroll down to the bottom, for the first time, we will have the ability to have a ladder truck, an engine, a rescue, a brush truck, and tenders and command all from one location. If you guys don't know, if you don't know now, if we have the need for the response for a ladder truck, our crews have to get into a vehicle, drive down to station 2, get into that, switch all their gear over and start that. So that can delay response significantly. And when we do get an ISO rating inspection, that will be part of the consideration for us to be able to deploy our assets to the required fires. So for the first time ever, we'll have that. There are many other upgrades to that. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those offline. One of the concerns we have right now is our SCBA cascade system. We have an air compressor inside station 2. That takes all the compressed air and puts it in our SCBA bottles that we wear. There's a high propensity to bring in exhaust gases, and there have been some cases around the nation where firefighters have died by putting exhaust gases into those compressed air. So we'll have a dedicated room with its own inlet, and there's going to be a ton of upgrades, but all of those things are being taken into consideration. We don't have a place to decontaminate some of our equipment. If we come in from a call and we need to clean it up, we don't have a space to do that now. So they're just kind of utilizing utility sink in the corner. A lot of the stuff that we're doing now is just getting by. So this will address all of those concerns. So far, status check-in of what we have done for the fire station. We've completed a plat survey, a topographical survey, the evaluation, the need for an EPA evaluation, and Rocky and I are currently putting in an application for them to come out and evaluate this site, just to make sure there aren't any leftover contaminants from previous uses of that property. We also have design development, I'd call it about 90% complete. That was paid for the phase 1 of the grant, the $400,000 that was carried over into fiscal year 24. We also secured $5.22 million from Representative Joseph Sanchez, Senator Pete Campos, and Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham this year. As you know, we'll be using that money moving forward. We also have worked with collaboration with design group and a metal building structural design group to be able to look at a metal building package kit. And we plan on buying that with phase 2 of the grant and hopefully be able to get that delivered on site. So we'll be looking for RFP for a contractor to be able to to put all those pieces together. A big shout out to Kurt Epler, and he's offered to be able to help us out with some of the, if you don't mind scrolling down a little bit, please, with some of the work to be installing infrastructure, utilities, and begin the over excavation as a result of our soils compaction test. We also have selected a little bit of our finishes. If you don't mind scrolling up just a little bit, sorry. We've selected some of our finishes. We've also submitted for zoning clearance. That'll be pending approval, and I think you'll hear about that later this evening, as well as submitted for the building permit. So yeah, I'll stand for any other questions if you guys have any, and that is my update.
And you said the size of that building was?
13,034 square feet. A smidge over 13,000. And you guys have the building plans, feel free to touch base with me at any point if you have any questions about the design. There's quite a bit of information.
So we want to postpone action tonight.
Yes, sir, we don't have a complete finalized version. The set that's in front of you is very, very close, but there's gonna be some minor changes to a couple of those pages.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the postpone action for the architect design document for the new fire station?
I make a motion to postpone architectural design document for the new fire station.
Second.
Roll call vote on item H. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Item H postponed.
Item H. Approve resolution 2025-56. Terminating restrictive covenants for Liberty Square. Santos Martinez.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, members of council, Clerk Strickland, Manager Weir. This is a conversation that we started in June with Planning and Zoning Commission. As you know, the developments for Liberty Square, we've discussed the placement of an event center, a fire station. The property came over to the village originally in 1998. There was an amendment to the deed in 2002. And then 4 years after that, the village council at that time adopted a series of covenants on top of it. And planning and zoning and staff come to the same recommendation that the covenants should be vacated because there are several conflicts with the designs of what you see that's being discussed for Liberty Square. Number one, the event center is proposed to straddle lots 2 and lot 6. You can't straddle a lot. It needs to be in one or the other. Well, it won't fit on 6. It really fits on 6 and 2. The covenants say the parking can only be on the south half of lot 6. Well, that's where the building's going, so that you have the yard, the lawn in front to go to the stage. Every building that touches the street is supposed to have a 10-foot wide sidewalk that's covered. Every building is supposed to have solar panels, and the fire station that everyone has been talking about can't go on that lot. Lot 9 is reserved for just retail and commercial uses and not government uses. I will say that there are still deed restrictions in the original agreements with the resort, because that used to be the lagoon property. And those deed restrictions will still remain. That the village is required to build at least a minimum 450 parking spaces. If there's ever a park ever created, that the resort will be allowed to use that park without charge. There are additional amendments that were made in 2002 that this is really designed for government entities and buildings and things of that nature. All that still remains. The last iteration that we have of Liberty Square has about 600 parking spaces being proposed. You'll notice that we don't even have the top third being developed yet. So we feel confident we can still meet all of the deed restrictions that are encumbered on the property. It's just these covenants that say you have to use solar panels for all your buildings, 10-foot wide sidewalks, can't have a fire station where we need it right next to 434. We agree with planning and zoning and their recommendation as well that we should probably look at consolidating a lot of these lots, 6, 7, 2. Why isn't that just one big lot? Why is 4 and 5? Why is that not one lot as well? And so we think moving forward, we've got a really good design to actually fund these buildings, and the overlay that remains for O2 zoning still captures a lot of our setbacks, required parking. We just think that there's a conflict with these covenants, that the best approach would be at this time is to vacate them. Stand for any questions you may have.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2025-56, terminating restrictive covenants for Liberty Square?
I'm sorry, I had to back up a minute. Does this motion, vacating the covenants for Liberty Square, does that cover the fire station?
It does, that Liberty Square, that is lot 9 in the covenants, and so that would also vacate that language, yes.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-56, terminating restrictive covenants for Liberty Square.
Second.
Roll call vote on item H. Mayor Pro Tem Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humbert.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Item I, discuss dispatch agreement / contract with Red River.
Good evening again, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman, and Mr. Ware, who was behind me a while ago, and I didn't see the acknowledgement. Before you have the memorandum of agreement between Red River and the Village of Angel Fire for dispatch services, and that's emergency services. I apologize, the one that I had sent our clerk to be included in your packets was not the correct one. The one that was resent or given to you this afternoon, if you have it, has some corrections in it. Simple things like, instead of the radios being measured in watts, we simply changed the language of that to say analog and digital, since we have moved into the digital age. We've included a little bit more language of what is actually owned by each entity. At the end of the day, the contract price is $62,304 per year. So it is over the $60,000 and does need council consideration or approval. And I feel very confident that our services are adequate, and I would also state that we essentially have no other alternatives to go to another dispatch center. So at this time, I would recommend approval of the dispatch service agreement.
So our dispatch antenna, do we have more than one, and where's it located?
We do have more than one now. Traditionally, until some months ago, we operated off of the resort tower. That tower is owned by the resort. We utilize space from it. Currently, we have that as our analog, and the new digital has gone up on the Aspen water tower tanks. And that's where the digital fire frequency for Angel Fire and Moreno Valley, District 5 come from there, as well as the new digital repeater for the police department and public works. 2 different antennas, 2 repeaters, each has 2 channels to service those 4 entities.
And does that give us coverage to the south as well?
The new digital gives Moreno Valley very good coverage into Black Lake, into the stations down there in District 5.
And
Yes. And it's a continuing project. Moreno Valley has an Eagle Nest utilize Iron Mountain for their primary repeaters. They're adding another to Green Mountain, which the village will be able to utilize that for fire EMS coverages as well. We are in the process of getting a survey done on the property, approximate 1 acre up by the 2 tanks at the Aspen site. Just up on the ridge behind that, the village owns approximately 1 acre. They found 1 corner marker, but we can't find the others. So we're getting those corners remarked, and we have a grant to put a tower up there. Hopefully, we will get that done before winter. And there'll be a freestanding approximate 100-foot tower. The reason we need the corners of our properties marked is because the location that we want to put it to give us what we believe is the best coverage is kind of close to the north and west corner. And this tower is gonna have guide wires to support it. We wanna make sure we don't encroach into neighboring property. We're come a long ways. We've still got more work to do, but our communications are better than the village has ever had.
Can I get a motion to approve the dispatch agreement / contract with Red River?
Make a motion to approve dispatch agreement / contract with Red River.
Second.
Roll call vote on item I. Mayor Pro Tem Howell,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Humber.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Mr. Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I just wanted to express, I don't have anything specific tonight, but I wanted to express sitting here, not being part of the meeting and watching and observing how it struck me what a great team we have here at the village now, and how people are not waiting to take action on things. They're aggressively pursuing things, and I'm very proud of the fact that we have a management structure that allows people to excel in their fields, and we see that today. Chief Hogriff, who is my number 2 at the village and has been in command since last Thursday. Today, he actually made his first executive decision as a unofficial deputy village manager, and I was kind of excited to see that, to be honest. And so I just want to hope the council and I hope the public understands what a great team we have pulled together. We are accomplishing a lot. As Chief Hogriff said, we still have a lot to do. And we have a lot on our agenda for this upcoming year. And I'm just excited to be a part of it and very proud of the team we have. And I hope the council and the public are equally as proud in all that we've accomplished. So thank you very much. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Meeting adjourned.